dating red flags, your live love advice.
Plus the Pulse, coming to you live on today's final broadcast of Season 1 of
The Game Over Show.
Weird as. Am I even here?
27 episodes in Season 1 of Game Over, sir.
Yep, and we are
Job
cheers,
well
cheers.
done.
We are very grateful that you've been watching.
Thank you.
It's been a wild success, right?
It's been a wild success, and it's been so much fun to spend time
Yeah.
every day with this guy, with producer Fiona. Thank you for being a part of this, and more to come in Season 2 starting January 7th.
January 7th, Monday. Be sure to tune in, and we will be offering replays on demand of the shows for Season 1.
All 27 episodes you can catch on demand throughout the holiday season.
Right, and you can watch them anytime at thegameovershow.com or visit our fan page, and we'll be posting there.
Yeah, so facebook.com/The Game Over Show. Check out the fan page throughout the holidays. And we're doing a little photo shoot on Friday, and I promised my peeps that I would post some behind-the-scenes pics on the fan page. So...
You know what, and that's really important that we do that. And speaking of photos, what's hot?
Oh, no!
Okay,
So
come here.
we're
No.
gonna go.
Come here. Let me just talk to you.
I thought it looked really cute
Yesterday, so Lisa shares with me when we came into the studio today
Damn.
that her husband
Hi,
said,
Hubs.
Hi, Lewis. You know, you looked really cute on the show today.
He
And she
watched the
said,
show,
"Thank
which
you."
I always love when he watches the show, and I thought that was looking
But-
stylish.
But and she was hot, right?
Yeah, right.
She was
Yeah.
so
Thank
hot
you.
that
My
Lewis
work
says
husband says it.
she looks like Fiona. Will you please show the side by side?
No, say it ain't so. I did not mean to channel my inner
Now,
Han Solo.
Han Solo is hot.
Oh, he's a sexy, sexy, sexy man. But I wasn't trying to be all masculine. I was trying to rock my feminine groove thing, and instead, apparently, you were Chewbacca yesterday.
Yes, your worshipfulness.
That's the kind of show it is today. So we dedicated today's What's Hot to my fashion misstep and to the Hubs.
Lewis, we love you. That was comedy. You will forever be Han. Forever be Han. We'll forever be from Baltimore, right? We'll say, what's up, Han?
Whatevs. I think we need to move on and let's talk about some posing for Playboy.
Yeah, we've
Not
got
me.
a good bunch of data today. The Pulse. A bunch of data, right?
It's like
A
now
bunch of
and
data. You
later.
take a data and you put it in a bunch of data. So, 1,000 people surveyed. Top 5 answers are on the board.
Me!
Here's the
Sorry.
question.
I love it. Are we gonna make out that
This
Richard
is
Dawson
like-
no longer
that's-
is family?
Well, right, and Steve Harvey not so much, right?
No, I didn't want to kiss Richard Dawson either, but
I don't know.
digressing.
So, 1,000 Han Solos surveyed. So, is it okay for a woman to pose for Playboy if she's in a relationship?
Okay, so that was the question.
That's the entire
Is it
question.
okay if she posted for Playboy if she's in a relationship? And did women respond to this?
Women did respond to this, and there were a number of men
There were
as
some
well.
men,
So we
okay.
can talk about I can put up the separation of the genders
Awesome.
on Facebook.com/The Game
Yeah,
Over
because
Show.
that would be interesting to know.
But it was interesting to hear that 77% said yes. Because a lot of women identify with it as being something that's empowering, right?
Yeah, absolutely. If I had that kind of a body, I would pose for Playboy.
Well, sure, and I think that a lot of the women
Hey,
who
plus
responded...
size Playboy, where were you when I was in my 20s? Just saying.
Well, a lot of women responded. A lot of women responded saying
Thank
that
God I
these
didn't
were
do
like
that.
40-year-old moms, 45-year-old
Yeah.
moms who had gone through childbearing years and did a lot of work on themselves. They're like, it's just the human body.
That body.
Yeah, but it's just the human body, right?
Yeah.
So, and some of the men were writing in saying, no, that's my girl, right? We're not doing
They're
that.
pictures, fellas. They're pictures. Now, I can understand if you've got kids and you don't want your kids and your kids' friends and your kids' friends' friends.
Right?
Yeah.
I get that, and that's where some of the separation came in. But 23% that said that it's completely degrading to women.
Really?
Yeah, that it.
Were those 23% all old and
No,
fat?
no. There were a lot of young women who answered. Right, between
Interesting.
young defined as 25 to 34.
Okay, so it wasn't so much that I can't do it and that's why I'm judging it. These were legitimate people saying that it's degrading to women. I find that so interesting.
Well, it objectifies is what the comments were. That it objectifies women.
I can understand that. I mean,
I can understand the view. I'm just not sure that I totally agree.
No, I don't agree either. Because it's a woman's choice. No one's holding a gun to her head and saying pose.
Right. Well, and
if they are, game over.
And I buy Playboy for the articles, right? So
yeah, I buy it for the looky-loo pictures in the middle and throughout.
If you have a comment or you have a different opinion, hit us up at thegameovershow.com or visit us on Facebook with best place, facebook.com/thegameovershow.
I want to say one more thing about this. I'm fascinated by this because Playboy, I get that they show all the lady parts, and yes, I'm using my kindergarten speak now. But it's not like Hustler or something a little raunchier where you're like, here it is.
Oh my God.
I think it's time for he said, she said.
Please. We're back!
Hey, we're not PMSing, that's how my JJ sounds.
Whoa! Way too much information. Poor Fiona. You know what? I'm going to try to rope this in.
Her head just exploded.
The topic for today...
Did I cross the imaginary line that's uncrossable?
No, absolutely not. The topic for today, dating and red flags. Okay? So... Speaking of,
I know what.
This is what
how your vagina sounds during PMS. If it sounds like that, if it's sweet and cuppy, I guess.
We're live. Fuck. Okay.
Oh my goodness.
Dating and red flags. Number one, don't have your vagina sound like that ever. Right? Okay. No, we talked.
Oh, come on.
No, you and I have connected with a lot of women around dating red flags.
My makeup isn't even on my face anymore.
Here, pick it up and put it back on. Thank you.
Woo!
Okay, roping this back in. Dating and red flags. Stop it.
You did the show.
Really?
We'll do what he said for now.
Dating red flags. So, Lisa, here. Here we go.
Oh, hi.
Wait, here we go. Lisa is right here.
Yeah, I don't need to read it.
Lisa,
hello.
Let's talk about dating red flags, okay?
I'm coming back.
Last show of the season, you're gonna get what you get, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Dating red flags. So we've talked to a number of women, both in the real world, online, around some of the challenges they experience: online dating, offline dating, meeting someone.
And how do you, the deal breakers versus the negotiables? That's a lot of what people ask us about. Like, how do I know if this is something that's acceptable or not?
So let's qualify that. So what would you consider a deal breaker?
Something you absolutely cannot accept in a person. If it never changes, you will not be happy.
So like religion, having children, these kind of big
life
issues.
things.
Yeah.
Smoker, non-smoker is big for a lot of people. Drugs,
deal.
no drugs. Drinking if you're sober. It depends on the people involved. So your deal breakers are pretty specific to you, but common ones are these kinds of big topics that we've talked about: religion, money, kids, wanting kids, not agreeing on that.
Right.
Yeah.
So red flags are some of the things that we've got listed here as well.
Yeah.
That people should pay attention to. So
and people show these up front, and this is what's important is As soon as you see them, it's not a sign to like, oh, they're waving me through. Okay. It's a sign that like, oh, this is showing up for me and I need to listen and act accordingly.
Right. So let's talk about how you can work through deal breakers first, if you can.
Okay.
And then we can talk about some dating red flags. So talk to me about how, because there's a lot of women who write in to me, definitely, and I know you've received some of this too, around, different religion. Family is very religious, but we've met, it's very Romeo and Juliet.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, well, but these are real, like, deal breakers where if you can't meet in the middle, then it's a game over, no?
If religion is something that's really important to you, it can be a game over. I know people who've negotiated. I know people who dated for 10 years and didn't get married for 10, 15, 20 years because they couldn't agree on how they were going to raise their children. Finally, they got married and they agreed to raise the children one way or another. I've heard this over and over again. And I would say 90% of the time that ends up working, which I'm happy to say. But it's because they spent so much time talking it over before they decided to get married. If you're somebody who's hoping for the best, not so lucky, I don't think.
Right, so you're talking about real communication.
Yeah.
And some people, when it comes to religion, they end up having a multi-denominational wedding, right? With two different religions represented.
Yep. And that's awesome. We're in a multicultural world, so that makes sense. You could also celebrate different, like if you're both Jewish and Christian, you can have both holidays. You can celebrate them both.
And the kids will love that too, because everybody gets paid, right?
8 days of presents and then one big day. Yeah, it's good. It's good.
So what if there's something...
That's a scenario where you could work it out.
But what if there's something that you can't work out? Is that it? Like you can't get past that point? Deal breaker defined?
Man, if you're on a date with somebody and you realize that there's something huge and glaring that you can't get past, honor that. Because you're just going to be wasting each other's time if you're like, yeah, it's really okay, but it's not okay.
Right. So, and a lot of people, obviously you're not going to necessarily identify these day one.
Yeah.
But within the first 3 to 6 months, you're going to start seeing this stuff. And as you get to it, like, some things can't be gotten past.
Right, and some things can. Like, I have an example. A woman wrote into me about, it was probably a couple months ago. It was before we did our show on STDs. And she said that she was dating a guy and she really liked him. And they waited to have sex. And it was probably, I think about 3 months in, before they ever had sex, he revealed that he had an STD. And it was something that wasn't curable, but it was also not life-threatening. And she was really grappling with, she said, I really am in love with this guy. I really want to make it work, but I'm scared. Right. And so I worked with her via email to really identify, is this something she could work through? And the first thing was she needed to educate herself. She needed to understand what the risks were, and she needed to understand what a life living with, and it was herpes. It wasn't.
I was going to say, it sounds like herpes.
Yeah. And she ended up deciding that she wanted to be with him, which I thought was awesome. But when in that scenario, I said, you do understand that in addition to every time you have sex, every time you have oral sex, you're going to need to use condoms. And she said, for this person, it's worth it. And I thought that was awesome. Now, not everybody would go down that same road or make that same decision. So for her, it was grappling with, is this a deal breaker? Had he revealed it earlier, maybe it would have been a deal breaker because she wasn't so emotionally invested.
Right.
So that's an example of working through a deal breaker. But there's also times when somebody reveals either like a prison sentence or they were married before or they have kids, and that's something that for whatever reason doesn't work for you, depending on how your values line up. You might have to say game over.
Right, and that makes a lot of sense to me.
Yeah.
A lot of sense to me. Well, let's talk about some of the red flags, right?
Yes.
And this is coming from a guy's standpoint, and you've had some tie-in with this as well, so I want to get your perspective as we talk through it for sure. So
this is when you're dating.
This is when you're dating,
okay.
Right? And a lot of the deal breakers you were describing within the first 3 or 6 months, I mean, that would come up.
Yes, absolutely. But this is like behaviors, and I love what you've really broken down here.
Well, it's thank you, and it's really paying attention to what people do, and not necessarily only what they say, right?
And not just what they do towards you.
Right, definitely. Yeah. So we asked a bunch of people, mostly women, responded around the challenges that they experience on dates, and I was able to identify some trend lines as to what they're experiencing, and then the fallout, meaning the relationship ended up ending, and why, what was identifiable earlier in the process, rather than later.
Cool.
So these are broken down the top 5 reasons, the top 5 red flags.
Okay.
We're going to start with number 5 and move up to number 1.
Okay.
So number 5 is that he didn't put any thought into the date.
Now, what does that mean, any thought?
So
like a generic date, like we just went to dinner and it was like kind of blah?
Well, there's a lot of guys who, like, they don't put any thought into it, where it's Friday night and they
kind of phoning it in.
What do you want to do? I don't know. What do you want to do? You want to eat? I don't know. What are you hungry for? How many?
I got a coupon.
Have you ever had that?
I got a coupon.
You ever had that? Well, coupons are great, but you
no,
don't know what you're going to do.
Coupons, yeah.
Yeah, but if you're not going to have any thought into it, like, you know what we're going to do? This is what I want to do tonight. I want to go get dressed. What are you going to wear?
Oh.
Put on jeans. It's casual tonight. Where are we going? Nothing. Let's go. Now that's a date, right?
I'm intrigued in a little.
See, but that's the kind of leadership, right? Where it's like, let's go do this. Where are we going? I'll take you there. It'll be awesome. That's dating.
So I like, it doesn't have to all be on him though. So ladies, don't expect the man to plan everything. But a guy will reveal a lot about who he is when it is up to him, and he plans either something really cool and fun and takes into account what you told him you like, versus something that's so all about him and you're like, he does not even know who I am.
Right.
I once almost starved on a date because a guy was really into himself.
Well, yeah, and you starved on a different one. I want to take number 4 next. Number 4 is confidence.
Confidence! Number 4.
Now, some guys are not confident. They are a little bit more
But there's
laid back.
Spectrum of confidence.
There is definitely. Well, I'm not talking about the wackadoosh that's like, what's up, baby? You know, who's got all this bullshit going on.
But like, there's quiet confidence and then there's zero confidence. Am I right, producer Fiona?
No, absolutely.
Totally
but that's what I'm
different.
talking about, is the zero confidence guy who, it's not that he's worthless, right? He just has work to do on himself.
Seriously, and don't be dating, dude. I went on a date. He couldn't even look me in the eye, and it broke my heart for him, not for me. I was like, dude, it's clear to me I don't want to date you. But I was like, oh, honey.
See, but these aren't guys that are worthless, right? These are guys.
Oh, nice guy.
But he has work to do on himself. So you're a kind guy, you're a nice guy. Well, right. And it's not that, it's just, we're talking about identifying red flags, not bad people, right?
Right. So there's nothing wrong with that guy, but somebody who lacks massive confidence, like can't make eye contact, can't initiate, oh my God, the one who just like, you're looking at their drink hoping that they finish it soon because they can't make any more conversation. You run out of things to say. Ladies, Fiona, I know you've been there. Oh my God. Okay, the lack of confidence, game over.
So that's number 4. Number 3.
Number 3.
The little things. For you. For Fiona, evidently, because she's...
Fiona, I am cracking producer Fiona. Why is it like any other day? Just saying. The little things. Let's talk about the little things. Small behaviors are sometimes the biggest telltale signs. You love it and you know it. All right, so the little things are like how he treats the waiter.
Well, we'll talk about that in a second.
So that's not
the little things are a little bit different, right? But that's part of it.
Those are itty bitty things. Now we're talking about little things.
But no, I mean, like, so if he orders for you at a restaurant, that's gentlemanly conduct.
Right.
That's cool. But not if he doesn't know what you want to order.
Oh.
Right? So, you know, it's like, I'll have this and she'll have that. He didn't even talk to you. You know? One of the biggest red flags is how men hold a woman's hand and he's like half a step ahead of her.
Ladies, am I the only one who doesn't want to hold man's hand before we kiss? Too intimate.
I want to know. We talked about this for the show. Facebook.com/The Game Over Show. I want to know. Does he have to get to first base before he holds your hand?
Too intimate? Hold my hand. Holding hands is like intimate.
But kissing's not?
Well, I don't want him to kiss me too fast, too.
You have a lot of rules.
I do. I'm fucked up.
Here I am, fucked up.
We need to go on hiatus pronto.
Oh my God.
Ladies, you know what I'm talking about if you've ever felt like effed up.
Some of the other little things, like, you know, so some of the guys get confused, right? So let me help them out. Nipples aren't ears. They can't hear you when you talk. I swear. Is that clear? Right? Well, because guys talk to women like this, right? And that's a little thing. Like, I just made her so uncomfortable. That's awesome. But, like, they stare down at their chest and they have a full conversation and they raise themselves back up again.
My nipples aren't even exposed.
Well, thank you. And I'm very grateful for that. Here's my nipple. So, number 2. We're going to move on through this.
Two. I'm scared.
Communication. I made you so uncomfortable.
Fine. Whatever.
Number 2, communication. Communication.
What? We got a case of the vacation itis, people.
Communication. You are just off the chain today.
I told you. With the pre-show, which we did not film, I almost peed my pants. So producer Fiona.
So communication number 2, meaning the imparting or exchanging of ideas. But part of communication is active listening, right? So if he's talking about himself all the time.
Active listening.
What?
So communication is key, and not just, hey, how are you?
It's because if he's not going to pay attention to you on the first number of dates, he's not going to pay attention later.
Fiona, you're having a good time
and
today.
number 1 is after our sponsor. So stay tuned for that.
Tease. Love it.
Our sponsor today is
We love your tango.
Yay. Go to yourtango.com, check them out. Awesome relationship advice. Now, enough about me. Let's talk about you. So, what do you think?
What do you think of me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Number 1.
Number 1 in the red flag dating red flag category. Is that?
Red flag dating, red flag category. Courtesy. How he treats.
Hells yeah, waiters, busboys, valets.
Totally. Pay attention to how he treats others in your presence. Also, pay attention to how he talks about you to other people when you're not around.
So how are you supposed to know that?
Because people will tell you.
Ooh, good point.
Mm-hmm.
What if he says nothing about you? Pay attention to that too.
I'd be paying attention to that too.
Yeah.
Early in the relationship, it's not so much as it is later.
Yeah. The other thing is, like, does he have a wandering eye when he's on a date with you? Game over. Like, seriously, you can look. I'm so okay with you looking, but don't be so overt and skanky about it.
Okay, God, Jesus.
Charles.
Right?
Moving on, I think it's time for
Street Smart Love Advice.
Okay.
So, every episode, we bring you Street Smart Love Advice in the second half of the show. And this will be the last time we do this for season 1.
This ain't your Dear Abby, people, so get ready for the street smart, tough love truth.
This goes out to Jay. Hi, Jay.
Hi, Jay.
So Jay is reflecting on her past relationships.
Okay.
One was her child's father.
Down memory lane.
One was her child's father, and the other was the man that she married after her children were born.
Okay.
She's wondering if maybe she was half the problem for some of these, the issues.
Pretty insightful.
It's really self-effacing,
yeah.
right? And this is the kind of work that we ask people to do.
Absolutely. So Jay, I applaud you for that.
Yeah, because if you're in a failed relationship, they may have done everything, but you definitely had some part that you played.
Even if you were showing up and staying.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And that's the kind of thing. So she's asking, what can I do to take a look at this? Is it me? Is it them? I have my own reasons for leaving both of these men, and I wanted more from a lifelong partner than my husband was able to give me.
Good for you.
But
good for you for knowing.
Is there any advice you can give me to see who or why they both failed? I think she's doing that work, though.
Yeah, Jay, I appreciate that you're doing the work, first of all, and you're asking the good questions. Just because a relationship ends doesn't mean it's a failure, as long as you really look at your own participation in it. So I would say look at both relationships separately first and see what worked, what didn't. Then compare them and say what are the commonalities.
Exactly.
Sometimes you stay too long. Sometimes you put up with bad behavior.
Sometimes it's red flags that you don't pay attention to.
You pick the wrong kind of guy who you know is not going to be right for you, even though you convince yourself it's going to be different. Never works.
Right. Now, the advantage that you're doing this, it means that you're not going to repeat these same mistakes going into your next relationship.
Which is a big old woohoo. I'd applaud, but I do it too much.
Do it.
Yay!
Perfect. This goes out to E.
Hey,
E. If when dating a guy and he seems very much in love, he's always a gentleman, very patient, always supportive, funny, attentive, romantic, right? Great guy. And he's madly in love with me, but he secretly sends chat messages to other women. So those two things don't go together, E. Right?
You can't define that guy and then throw that in there.
Right. So can I tackle this?
Take it.
Game over. Right? Game over.
It's a new international symbol.
It's not so secret that he's sending these secret messages out because you know it,
found
and
out
now
about it.
we know it, and now hundreds of thousands of people know it. So
not so secret anymore.
But if he doesn't know that you know, you need to let him know that he knows you know. You know?
I'm confused, but I am gonna say game over.
Game over.
Yeah.
Game over, totally. Like, if he's with you, he's not supposed to be sending love notes to somebody else. So.
Bullshit.
Yeah, I call total game over.
The same as game over.
Yeah, this is what I would consider emotional cheating.
Oh my God, more than emotional cheating.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's leading towards something else.
And yeah, if he's chatting today, he's doing something else tomorrow. So he's not doing that for no reason. Or he's got such a fragile ego.
So many thoughts in my head.
I appreciate
Trying
it.
to behave.
Or his ego is so fragile
now.
that he needs to like get all this attention to make himself feel better about himself. Either way, I call complete
down
bullshit. Yeah.
A bad road, slippery slope, all of the other analogies that I'm going to zip.
This goes to I.
Hi, I.
And before we get to I, if you have a question, you
Yes.
can write in at facebook.com/thegameovershow. Hit the little message button and Lisa and I will get it next season.
Woohoo!
And we'll be back here to give you
again.
live advice. I think we're going to end up dedicating a couple of shows to just like straight
Yeah, well, you guys
fire.
send us such great questions and we love getting to it. And if we've responded, because we've heard from a couple of people who've then written back in and let us know how it goes, we love hearing that. Please keep us posted on how things are going.
So this is I. I've known this guy who's a close friend for nearly 3 years. In high school, I used to have feelings for him, and he knew it, so we stayed friends.
Oh, the crush from high school.
Yeah, and then a year after not seeing each other, we met again and spent some time together. He was in a long-distance relationship when they, so they just talked,
Okay.
and then they ended up sleeping together.
Was it good?
While he was in a long-distance relationship.
Oh, well, he was in a relationship? Oh, I don't care if it's a good thing.
In a long-distance relationship, right.
Honey,
She felt bad
Did she
for
know he was in a long distance? I keep kicking you, sorry.
She felt bad for his girlfriend. I feels bad
But you
for his
did it
girlfriend.
anyway?
But you did it anyway, boo. But I also know it's not the
Breaking
first
the girl
time
code.
he's ever cheated on a girlfriend.
So that makes it okay, because it wasn't the first time. I am calling BS on that. Game over to you.
I call game over across the board, right?
Game over to you.
I know he appreciates me as a friend. No, he doesn't. Otherwise, he wouldn't have treated you that way. He doesn't value anybody but himself. That's the
He
deal.
sounds pretty into him.
Yeah, narcissism defined.
Good luck with that. I say game over. Move on.
Game over. So I'm afraid my feelings for him are coming back. Look, your feelings need to come back for you. Okay? He's not gonna value you, respect you for
Listen
shit.
to that.
God damn.
Right there.
There's nothing here except a guy who's all about himself. Okay? And if he's going to cheat on his long distance girlfriend to be with you, he's going to cheat on you to be with somebody else.
Hells yeah.
Done.
Done.
Fail.
Hashtag fail.
This goes out to T.
Hi, T.
Hi, T. I've been dating a man for the last few weeks, T. T's been dating a man for...
Really happy.
No, the waiter's busy.
Oh.
T says, I've been dating a man for the last few weeks.
Editing.
Things have been great, and we've been having a great time, and he hasn't been pressuring me into sex, so he's been very attentive in a non-sexual way. We have lots of fun together.
Awesome.
But then, after the last time we went out, which was Saturday night, a couple of weeks ago,
it's been a few weeks, okay.
He hasn't texted me much, and the way he talks to me is different. Our last night together, I told him that I really liked him, and he said he really liked me too. But then it's like 1 minute he can't wait to spend time with me, and squeezes me in whenever he can in his schedule. But now he doesn't seem to have any time.
Is this a hot and cold one, Charles?
Yeah, it feels hot and cold. Did you scare him? Maybe, but if he's saying the same things to you and you're not sleeping with him, I say there's a couple of behavioral red flags, right? So
is he sleeping with somebody else?
Maybe.
He's seeing other people.
It sounds like it. They've been dating for only a few weeks. So.
Yeah, it's hard to tell. I always, when I was dating, found these the most frustrating.
Yeah.
Because everything was going great, and you're like, ooh, it's exciting, and then they just change.
Well, and I would bet that she met him either online or something close to it, or because if you met him through a friend, you'd have some kind of referral.
Yep.
So there'd be some inherent value built into it, right? Like, I know what this guy's about.
Yeah.
But you meet somebody randomly, like in a coffee shop or a club or online or whatever.
Fabulous.
You don't know what you
Going
get.
good for like a couple weeks, and then he's cold. Damn it.
It's because he's got like 10 other people and he's hedging his bets most often. I'm not saying that's guaranteed here, but I mean, here's the real deal. If he wanted to be paying attention to you and be with you and spend time with you, he would.
And that's what's so frustrating, because as women, it's hard for us to accept that. It's like, why can't it be different? But the truth is, it isn't.
Right.
So you have two choices. Accept it accept his behavior and keep waiting for it to change, or move on. And I vote for move on.
Well, and you can do both, right?
Okay.
Instead of waiting around for him to finally get his shit together to show you some attention or not, just move on anyway. And then you're in control.
Love it. Get back in that driver's seat. I
yes,
love that
stop
advice.
waiting. Stop looking for validation from these guys that treat you like this, right? Fuck them. Bye. You're fired. Move on. Move on. And
You're on fire today, sir. I like it.
And I'm Cartman half the time with all my cursing. You know what? That's been season 1 of Game Over.
Wow. Thank you guys so much for being a part
Kumbaya.
of it. Oh, no, we aren't. We aren't. But thank you for being part of this, Charles. I'm looking at you.
I was looking forward to singing Kumbaya.
No, this guy rocks.
I have had so much fun with her, and we so appreciate you. You've been awesome.
You've been awesome. Fiona's been awesome. Woo, 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 woo.
Awesome.
We will all be back for season 2, so come back January 7th. In the meantime, thank you for being a part of our success. Couldn't do it without you.
We will see you January 7th. Have a wonderful and safe holiday season.
Yeah, be safe. Have fun.
Until January 7th, this has been the Game Over Show. I'm Charles J. Orlando.
That makes me Lisa Stedman.
Happy holidays.
Bye.